Good morning, my name is Dr. Jeffreys, and today I'll be talking to you about what to do if you find an individual having a fit. A lot of people do not understand what a fit is, and because of that, it's very scary and they tend to get really confused and they get into a panic, and that can be a waste of time for somebody who desperately needs help. Now let's try and tell you what a fit is. Usually you see an individual who's probably sitting down or walking along the road, and suddenly they fall down, they start to shake, they start to jerk, and it appears as though they are unconscious for a period of time, and then suddenly everything comes to a halt. A fit or a seizure is usually caused by an abnormality, or that means there's something going wrong with the electrical activities of the brain. What that means essentially is that this person who is shaking and jerking, they're usually not aware of what is going on, because the brain is what controls all our movements. Now, what do you need to do when you see such a person in such a state? The first thing to do is to, one, shout for help. And shout for help means that you call on to the people who are around as you approach the person who needs help, so they can get help and you can have many more people around to help you. The second thing to do is to move very close to the person and to take them away from harm. And when we're talking about harm, we're talking about a fireplace, we're talking if they're in the middle of the road, if they're near something that is sharp or something that can potentially cause them any harm. So you move them away from harm. That is assuming that you're bigger than they are and you're able to carry them. If you're not, then you can get one of the people who you have called on to come in and help. Once this has been done, you need to get them to lie on their left side. The reason why we suggest that people lie on their left side is because it is believed that when you lay them on their left side, they're less likely to have things go the wrong way into their lungs. Whilst you're doing this, you need to be talking to them, you need to be reassuring them and calming them down. Usually most people, within a few seconds to a minute of having this kind of a fit, they usually recovered and they're probably just lying down there sleeping. If it happens that the shaking and the jerking is continuous, at 2 minutes you find out that this person is still shaking and jerking, it may be that the shaking and jerking is not going to stop on its own, and it may just be that they need a bit more help, in which case you will want to be calling for a doctor, you may want to be calling for an ambulance. And that depends on wherever you are. For most countries, it's 999 or maybe 111. Make sure you know the exact number you need, because you don't want to be getting the wrong people out to come and help you. Now, once this has happened and help has arrived, it is usually very important to notify the help and tell them exactly what you've noticed. For instance, they want to find out from you what exactly happened, what led to this, what sort of movements the person did. Did they wet themselves whilst they were shaking, or was it just a period of shaking and nothing else? I think anybody who has just had a fit would most of the time be a bit confused. So don't be surprised when they come around and they're wondering where they are. All you need to do is to explain to them. If they're an absolute stranger, you definitely will want to tell them they need to see a doctor and they need to get somebody to examine them to be sure that they are fine. Most people who would have a fit will never have another one, but it's always worth checking. So the next time you see somebody shaking and jerking, don't run away from them. It's not contagious. Don't just start getting into a panic. Try and calm them down and get help to them as soon as possible. Good morning.